And we are back with WSJ Lunch Break. I'm Wendy Bounds. You're looking at an electoral map from last night with President Obama winning a second term. Is America a more or less polarized nation than we were 4 years ago? We've got Sarah Treul. She is assistant professor of political science at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and she is joining us right now. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Wendy.
Let's talk about that question. Some people saying that this is an indication that we are a more moderate country. Others saying that basically Obama's win last night was mainly that he harnessed the very important ethnic vote. What is your take on this?
So I really think this was a status quo election last night, and it's really difficult to make the argument today that we are any less polarized or more moderate than we were before the election.
And what is your reasoning for that?
Well, the reasoning for that is we lost a lot of moderates, key Republican moderates, in the primaries before last night. And then last night we also saw a lot of moderates sort of fall off the map and more maybe polarized, especially on the Democratic side. Those politicians win electoral office.
So there is a sector out there questioning Mitt Romney and his approach and saying if Mitt Romney had been the Mitt Romney who had led Massachusetts as more of a moderate Republican, if he had stuck by that, he might have done better turning many more independents and Democrats over to his side. But because he went so far to the right and picking Paul Ryan and aligning himself with some of the more conservative social issues, that he sort of shot himself in the foot there. What is your take on that?
I think Mitt Romney really did miss out on an opportunity there. I think the Republican primaries really pushed him a little bit too far to the right for him to make the move back to the middle in the general election. Had he done that, he certainly would have had an opportunity to win over more women, to win over more of the Latino vote, and that really ended up hurting him in the general last night.
Let's talk about, Sarah, just for a moment, where do the Republicans go from here? I mean, obviously an enormous amount of soul searching within that party this morning. How do they shore up votes more than just the white base? What do they do in terms of, do they go more to the right? Do they go more to the middle? What would you advise them?
Well, soul searching was a great term that you just used there, Wendy. I really think the Republican Party is going to have a battle for its heart and its mind and its soul coming up over these next few months. There are already arguments that the Republican Party lost, and it lost because the party didn't move enough to the right. Whereas, of course, on the other side, you have people like Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, a prominent Republican, saying this has absolutely nothing to do with our party being on the right. It has to do with the fact that we're not enough in the middle. And that's where the fight's going to be. Based on the numbers of last night and who voted for President Obama and who voted for Mitt Romney, I think it's hard to make the case that the Republicans should not move at least somewhat more to the middle and try to entertain winning over the Latino vote, maybe even some of the African American vote, and certainly the female vote and the youth vote as well.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because the exit polls showing that Romney won handily, of course, among white Americans, almost 6 in 10 of them, but he lost by breathtaking margins to the nation's other important ethnic groups, almost by 40 percentage points among Hispanics, 50 points among Asians, more than 80 points among African Americans. How do they start to court that group without just looking like they're pandering to that group?
I think immigration reform is going to be key to that. The Latino population in this country is taking off. The Latino vote was 10% of the vote last night, and without winning the Latino vote, Republicans are going to start to be in trouble in elections in the Southwest, in the Southeast, maybe even in the state of Texas in the next 5 to 10 years. And so really focusing on immigration reform, taking that seriously as an opportunity to embrace a new part of the American culture and the American electorate, I think is going to be very important for the party.
All right, Sarah Treul, she is an assistant political science professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Thanks so much for being with us.